The following is an expanded version of the fourth item from My Albany Insider column from Monday's print edition. State Business Council head Heather Brickety is in Israel this week in hopes of finding ways to reopen an America-Israeli Chamber of Commerce in New York City that closed 3 years ago. "There's opportunity," she said. "There's a lot of really strong research and development in Israel. And a lot of U.S. companies have research divisions in Israel." Brickety is a part of a trade mission hosted by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce that includes a contingent of about 24 people. The group left for Israel Thursday night and will return later this week. "There was a New York City-based New York-Israeli Chamber of Commerce that no longer exists," Brickety said. "I'm trying to establish a relationship and see if we can start conversations about them having a presence in Manhattan." The State Business Council also serves as the State Chamber of Commerce. The America-Israeli Chamber in Manhattan closed 3 years ago as interest in the organization waned, said its former executive vice president Ronnie Basson. She called it an embarrassment that the chamber couldn't be sustained in New York City. She said businesses, particularly with the internet, no longer needed the chamber to make introductions. "All nonprofit organizations in New York have been struggling the past 10 or 15 years, Basson said. "Some have recovered and some have gone out of business. For whatever reason, we didn't make the necessary changes." Mark Boniface of New York Daily News. She suggested Brickety look to start small by focusing on specific sectors that are strong in the city and surrounding areas that could do more business in Israel. But Catherine Wild, president of the Partnership of New York City, said despite the chamber closing 3 years ago, the Israeli tech community is well represented in New York City by the country's consul general and the Technion Institute, which has partnered with Cornell University to build a new graduate engineering school on Roosevelt Island. "It's a misread to think that Israel and its technology research assets are not well represented here," Wild said. Brickety said she recognizes that, but believes having an America-Israel Chamber of Commerce in New York City would still be a benefit. She said upon her return from her trip, she plans on speaking with Howard Zemsky, who heads Gov. Cuomo's economic development efforts. Zemsky is scheduled in several weeks to lead a state delegation to Israel that will include businesses leaders. Brickety said she has no patience for those calling for a disinvestment and boycott of companies that do business with Israel, though she made it clear she was speaking for herself and not necessarily the business council she heads. She said she and her board have not formally discussed the matter. "My opinion is Israel has an absolute right to exist," she said. "The idea of disinvestment is ludicrous. In a world where there's a global economy and you have component parts made everywhere, it would make no sense to disinvest in a company or boycott companies who have investments in certain countries based on politics."